YouTube, what the crap's going on? HeirofCarthage here, and I'm going to be bringing you some Total War Shogun 2 tournament footage. This was sent to me by Zaript. I guess he got a hold of the replays. I had asked him for some replays for me to cast so that you'd be able to see some competitive gameplay since I usually just play for fun. I wanted to get some competitive gameplay, commentate it, and let you all see it. So here we have two players vying in the, it looks like a, I believe it is a, probably best of 5. I'm thinking it's a best of 5 finals. And I've got all the games for you, and we'll be casting those, and this is going to be between, over here in the red, Battlestar, Stellar, and it doesn't show his whole name here, I think it was like StellarFire, and over here we've got Iron, and it's Nero, and the tournament was hosted by Total War Italia, and there was 78 participants. It was huge, and the name of the tournament is Last Road to Kyoto. So again, it was hosted by Total War Italia. If you wanted to know more about it, I'm sure you can visit their Steam page and get some information. But like I said, Stellar is here in the red, and that's what I'm going to call him just for the sake of ease. And then over here in the green is Nero. So again, for the sake of ease, I hope that that's not like, going to upset them, that that's the name I go by, but I'm just going to go by that for the sake of commentating. So again, red, Stellar, green, Nero, or green and black, whatever you want to call it. What was interesting about this match that I noticed right away, first of all, is that it's on the Bay of Many Faces map, and you can see that this is quite an insane map. Got this choke point, a lot of you are familiar with it. The other thing that blew my mind was that neither player brought a single skirmish unit, and I mean not one, not even a Bojin. So this was going to be a melee grinder, and some people hate these kind of battles, but I actually really like these kind of battles, so I was extremely curious, and you'll also notice that this is in the huge unit settings. So this is going to be a huge melee grinder. So let's hit the key buildings. Out here is the farmhouse down by the water. Then you got the archery dojo up in the pass, and then down here on these plains you've got the shrine. The shrine's going to be a huge key building, and over here already you're going to see some skirmishing taking place, or some jockeying for position. And of course Stellar has moved for the pass, whereas Nero has moved for the shrine. He's got his whole army moving in. Let me give you the army compositions real quick while you watch this unfold. I'll keep the camera right here so you can get a good view. Stellar is boasting 3 level 6 Katana Samurai, 3 level 7 Yari Samurai, 3 Sword Attendants, 3 Nagi Attendants, 1 BP Sam level 6, 2 Yari Cav level 2, 2 Light Cav, and a Wako Raider level 6 for a grand total of 18 units. Nero is boasting 3 Light Cav, 5 Nagi Attendants, 5 Nodachis, 2 of which are level 7, 3 of which are level 6, 1 BP Sam level 9 with Hold Firm, and 2 Nagi Monks level 6 for a total of 16 units. So the numerical advantage is Battlestar's, whereas it looks like the overall melee pound for pound for unit is going to Nero. Battlestar has a cavalry power advantage and a slight cavalry numbers advantage. But again, I think that just power-wise, melee power goes to Nero. But we will see how this unfolds. Let me show you the overhead so you can see Battlestar has captured the farmhouse, which gives him a slight speed. And he's also captured the archery dojo, which is unfortunately going to do nothing for him. The shrine is really the building to capture in this match, and that's obviously why Nero has moved his army. Check out this charge coming downhill from the Wako Raiders towards these monks. This would be ugly indeed, and check this out. At the last second, Nero runs away. These Wako Raiders stumble. This was an excellent micro move by Nero. And again, another good micro move by Nero, saving his Nodachi from a quick Yari Cav charge, but also good micro moves by Battlestar to help run away from this and to not let his damage be maximized. Here he turns around and goes ahead and gets a downhill charge. His Wako Raiders are badly outnumbered, but at the same time they're going to be racking up kills because they're in a pretty good position land-wise. So we can get down in the carnage here and get an idea of what's going on. So you can see a huge melee grinder starting here, and then all through the center of the valley here by the shrine, there's going to be more action going on. I'll zoom down to ground level. This Nodachi taking a charge from some Yari Cav, which is going to take some damage prior to battle start. And you can see all down through here the melee engagement beginning, and right now numbers-wise and quality-wise, Battlestar, or StellarFire, sorry, is in trouble in this initial engagement. Both generals are moving into stand and fight. You've got Nero's general, which is already in stand and fight right here. And then you've got StellarFire's general going into stand and fight. StellarFire is keeping his Yari Samurai in reserve, hoping probably to wear the enemy down with his first wave, and then hold with the second wave, and eventually wear his enemy down for ultimate victory. You can see these Yari Samurai have only 10 attack, but a massive 23 defense, so these guys are going to be brutal. These Katana Samurai are not supported by a hold firm unit, and they don't have Banzai, so they're going to be tough units, but the problem is once they start to waver, they're hard to hold in the fight. An Odachi is usually a little easier to use because they have that Banzai and can stay in the fight just a little longer. So you actually see the Wako Raiders routed and shattered. This Katana Samurai is wavering under Warcry. This Katana Samurai is wavering, and this Katana Samurai routed. So at this point he has lost his Katana Samurai and his Waka Raiders, and he's now down to his Yari Samurai and a BP Sam level 6. I'm not sure if I called that one out, but he had a BP Sam level 6. He is trying to get his cab into the backfield, but Nero is protecting with his Naga attendants. Again, he had 5 of them, and in this position he can essentially stop most charges in the rear, but check this out. Here comes StellarFire, really working his way around the flank. Nero trying hard to get him stopped in 2 ways. He even turned this bulletproof samurai back, but the damage is done. The cavalry does connect with the back of these Nodachis, and really pretty badly damages the morale of that unit. These Yari Samurai start wavering, which is amazing because they've still got 131 men, but there's a lot of enemy units and a lot of stuff going on. It says they're concerned by flanks exposed, which would be this Nodachi. But they've stabilized now, and the bulletproof samurai is hanging in there just barely as well. Over here, Nero makes a breakthrough, and here comes a Katana Samurai that had come back from routing, and it's going to get a good charge back into these Nodachi units and continue the fight. So Katana Samurai are going to have a lot more staying power as they have a higher melee defense. You can see these guys have 20 attack and 9 defense, which is pretty stout. One of the big things that Stellar has going against him, though, is at this shrine, but he's got a better position on this hill, and with 23 defense and having this hill advantage, it is going to be very difficult for Nero to break into this flank, but you can see that already Nero is breaking through. But again, Stellar with an excellent move here, and he's going to hit this Nodachi with a cab charge, slow them down, and then charge in another Katana Samurai that's come back from routing. But Nero has a lot of men in the vicinity, a lot of men. If you'll remember, though, overall, Stellar had more units, and sure enough, you can see all of these, this small attendant army, which is 3 sword attendants and 3 Naga attendants, is making its way down from the pass, and this light cab is making its way over. There's another light cab over here that Stellar hasn't brought back from the farmhouse at this point. This is a very close battle, and both players have made some very excellent moves. Right here, though, Nero decides to take his general out of stand and fight in an attempt to try and break the melee forces of StellarFire quicker, so he hits this Yari Samurai from behind. You can see he's got Banzai dropped on some of his Nodachis in order to keep them in the fight, and he's now performing some charges onto Stellar's general. Here comes a light cab charge into Stellar's general. So, killing a few of the men in the bodyguard, but that's a tough bodyguard. So Nero makes a good move and kind of tries to pull out and around. He's got his eye right here in this juicy target, which is these Yari Samurai that have been holding out. And sure enough, here comes a rear charge, but I think at the last second, it looks as if Stellar clicked an attack order on that light cab. I think he did. And it actually does a lot of damage, and his units hold on. And then right there, these Naga attendants rout. These bulletproof samurai are concerned about an attack in the flank, so they're not doing super well. And then check it out. We have general on general action right here. The numbers advantage in the general fight right now is Nero's. The positional advantage is Stellar's general. Nero has Nodachis coming to try and get around the back of these Yari Samurai that have so long held this hill. I mean, these guys have just been absolutely amazing at holding this hill with that defense. These Nodachi started to waver, so he pops a Banzai, but now the numbers are really turning against Nero. And it's going to be a huge detriment. As you can see at this point, the advantage really goes to Stellar. But, you know, the battle's not quite over yet, but it's looking pretty rough. This Nodachi here starts to waver. I'm not sure if he's already used Banzai. He very well may have. and it's going to get hit from behind. It routes, and now it's just a matter of time, really, before Nero's forces give way because of the battle, or the force meter up here, which you can see. This was really an amazing fight. It was different in the sense that you don't see any skirmishing, but each player had chosen infantry with a specific plan. They were obviously trying to max out on power, and it looks like Nero chose like a huge power build. His infantry was very strong, and really the biggest thing I think that ended up turning against him was this hill right here. He really lost the battle in this one spot, while he won it in this spot. But then Stellar, he used a reinforcing strategy of bringing in his excess troops after the engagement already started. So he attacked in waves, and that seems to have worked out for him. And his second wave was a wave that just had a lot of holding power, which was his Yari Samurai. And you can see it just really let that battle drag on, which was what allowed some of his troops to come back from routing and to continue to assist, for some of his cav to get charges. And then also it allowed for his cav eventually to get that one hammer and anvil strike back on the on that hill, and really turn that battle even worse for Nero. And of course that was the final kind of the straw that broke the camel's back, and by that point the attendant army had gotten there. But man, that was an interesting game. And trust me, when I looked at this tournament bracket, which you can go look at it, the bracket's up, and I'm sure if you want to get there, you can get, I'll try and post a link to it in the description. There was a lot of good players in this tournament, a lot of them. And so this was an interesting match to watch, because obviously if these players made their way to this point, they've played some outstanding games, and this was a great game as well. If you look at the stats here, look at this bulletproof samurai, man, that is beastly for StellarFire. None of the rest of his units got a whole ton of kills, but in the end it worked out by numbers. And if we go down and look at Nero, he brought these Nodachi Samurai, which should afford him more kills, and with 2 of those units it most definitely did. They killed their entire unit size worth of men, plus 50% more, so they got a lot of kills. But you can see his monks probably didn't end up being cost effective here for whatever reason. I didn't watch him super close, and again it was probably more to do with that positioning and stuff. But I do remember the war cry from his monks nearly breaking Stellar's army, so it was definitely a good idea, and it was very close. But cost-wise, Stellar went for the cheaper Yari Samurai and was able to afford all the Nog attendants. So an interesting balance there. I could have seen this battle going either way, depending on how the players played. But I loved some of the micromanagement at the beginning, because when you don't have melee units, it's really all about getting the right position, getting around the flanks as best you can, protecting your back line, and charging the right units at the right time. Not allowing your sword units to get charged by cavalry. You're going to have to face all those type of things when you get into this type of an infantry grinder fight. Very interesting fight. I hope that I did this justice. I'm not a tournament player myself. I do understand the game, and so I feel like I can commentate these. But if you all think that I got the commentary wrong, by all means disagree with me. Excellent game, though, to both players. Very much enjoyed it. So that puts Stellar up by 1 in the best of 5, and let us move on to the next game.